Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, right now behind the camera to bring you a mini review of a mini item. And today we're taking a look at one of my favorite smaller action figures on the market, and that's Diamond Select's Minimates. But these Minimates are all elite, because today we are taking a look at, for the very first time, the AEW Minimates of the Young Bucks. That's right, we're getting Matt and Nick Jackson here in Minimate form. Now, these two figures are joining the previous wave of Minimates, which we already looked at on this channel fairly recently. That was wave one of what's hopefully going to be many waves of Minimates, which are these much smaller, tinier little action figures that are really cool, really collectible, and really awesome in so many different ways. So let's go ahead right now and just get on into things here. And I want to talk about the packaging real quick, and I'll show you guys a little rotation of it as I chat. So the first wave of Minimates was actually not in this format. It was actually done in the style of a 4-pack. And that's generally how Minimates are packaged these days. They're in packs of 4. So they come with all their figures laid out, and in the case of the AEW Series 1 set, that was all basically in a magnetic sort of clip box. Really cool, very collector friendly. Whereas in this case here, this Minimate set is the total opposite. This is not collector friendly at all. This is a 2-pack that's been packaged on a blister card, meaning once you open this guy up, it's pretty obvious you're not going to get them back in the packaging. So yeah, what you see here is what you're getting, and what's also really cool about that is, yeah, you literally are seeing what you're getting, because there's nothing here obstructing the box other than my hand. Now you can't see me. But what you're getting here is the 2 figures. You're getting some additional parts. You're getting some accessories. We'll talk all about that in a little bit. And as we rotate one more time to take a look at the back of the packaging, you'll see here, again, you're going to see also how small this box is, because this is my hand right here. You can see this is not a very large packaging, because these aren't very big figures. But as we rotate to the back, we get a look at what information there is here, which is really, quite honestly, not a ton of info at all. It's actually very little info. It's actually quite scant. So this packaging here is telling us that it comes with our 2 figures, our Matt and our Nick Jackson. We're going to have removable jackets. And it also says right here that these figures are about 2 inches tall and feature interchangeable parts and are fully posable. What it doesn't mention is some of the other accessories that are in there. It's kind of funny that it just highlights the jackets only, but it doesn't really tell you about anything else that this comes with. So we'll get into that. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we start taking these figures out of the package. So at this point, I think the best thing to do is, in fact, unbox these guys, and let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, and here are our Minimates. We have Matt Jackson on the left side, at least for now, and Nick Jackson on the right side. And the way to tell them apart is that normally Matt has the darker colored hair, Nick tends to have the lighter colored hair. So let's get into things. First things first, talk about the likenesses on our Young Bucks here. Do these little tiny figures look like the Young Bucks? And I would say that yeah, they do. So the thing about Minimates is, if you're new to them here, you might be wondering, like, hey, these guys don't really have much in the department of facial sculpts. What they do have is decals, and that basically makes up the entire head and body, how pretty much all the Minimates look top to bottom here. So these are kind of like the, I guess you could say, proto Funko Pops, because these guys have been around since 2002. And basically they lack any sort of features. There's no sculpting. It's all just decals. They never have noses also, unless they're like Gonzo from the Muppets, but otherwise never have any noses. So they rely on these kinds of faces here, and I think they look really good. I think both of them definitely get the characters. What is kind of funny is how Nick's mustache here kind of makes him almost look like Hogan a little bit. That's just an unfortunate byproduct of how he is. I think Matt looks definitely spot on, and so does Nick. It's just the Hogan mustache might be throwing me off a little bit, so maybe there's a better way to do it. But I mean, overall, it doesn't look that bad at all. It's still pretty much, the Jacksons. Let me show you the back of their heads also, so you can see a little bit about how their long, flowing locks look as well, because they've got some excellent detail here in their hair, as well as you can see a little bit now about what's going on behind them too. But yeah, the hair is really nice on both of them, nice and flowing. You have the little top knot here on Matt Jackson, and you'll notice now in the back, they're both wearing all-out outfits. Oh, goodbye. And you'll notice now that we can see the back of them that they're both wearing their outfits from All Out, or at least an All Out. I don't know if it's actually how much these things are actually accurate to outfits, but for the most part, what we've seen with the other AEW Minimates is they are trying to keep some kind of a semblance of accuracy with their outfits. They're not like Jazzwares figures where they're telling us exactly where they came from, but they are doing their best to kind of like keep things accurate and recognizable to a degree. Granted, from the back, it's a little bit hard to really tell any of that information, because the backs of the Minimates are always fairly simplistic. But when we turn them around to the front, you can see them a little bit better, and we'll take now a little bit better look at their outfits as well, top to bottom here. You can kind of see, right now they got their entrance gear on, so they have their jackets. We've got them with their belts, which you can see that are decaled on there, as well as their boots. And they also do have some detail on the sides as well, which is kind of meant to look like it's their furry tassels that are on their boots. So that's pretty cool little attention to detail there. It would be kind of fun if maybe later on they actually added that as a separate piece, but we'll discuss it as we start getting to the accessories. And as a matter of fact, I think it's time we do that. Like all Minimates, these figures are no exception. Matt and Nick both come with bases. These are the bases that we get for every Minimate figure, pretty much ever. They are identical to everything out there, and they have little peg holes in the bottom of their feet, so we just attach them on nice and simply. They should go on with no problem. Yep. And now they will be even more stable than they already have been for the majority of this video, because that's the one thing I can say about Minimates is they tend to be pretty darn stable without the bases, but having the bases is so much nicer. It really is. You can see it's like a world of difference right now with them just being this way right here. So that's the bases here. Now let's go into some of the other fun bits about them, because the back of the box talked about some interchangeable parts, so let's start talking about that. And yeah, all the Minimates are completely interchangeable. They are very modular, and that means everything is swappable, including their hairs. So their hairs come out, you can see what the top of the head looks like here. Now, sometimes Minimates tend to actually have secondary faces on the back of their main heads. These figures do not, but I'm hoping that as time goes on, we'll see some more figures that actually do have some additional faces. It could be kind of fun to have like different facial expressions, or, I mean, you know, it would be kind of cool too if they did like busted open heads also, which, you know, we're seeing Jazzware start to do. So it could be kind of fun if Minimates goes in that direction as well. Now, in addition to that, we also have some other interchangeable parts to talk about, and that's going to bring us into the modular nature of these toys, because both of these little guys come with an extra set of arms. So how does that work? Because they're already in their entrance gear? Well, we're just going to go ahead and pop some arms out, and we'll swap them out. So yeah, you can just go ahead, slide the entrance jacket off pretty easily. You actually might want to even take the head off. Yeah, you can take the head off very easily. And yes, even the waist comes out too, so if you really want to do some customizing, change some parts, there you go. We don't need to go that hardcore for this, but the jackets just come off pretty darn easy, just like that. And we'll pop the arms back in, and our guys will be ready to wrestle. And the finishing touch here is I'll put this hand here. So while they do have extra arms, they only come with one set of hands, so you're going to have to interchange those parts as you see fit when needed. But here's our guys now all ready to wrestle. So there you go, that's how they're going to look like that. And now you can get a better look at their jackets as well. So really easy, come off very nicely. And right now let's jump into articulation, since you can see them all a little bit better here. So there's no like extra joints like an Elite figure or an AEW, Jazzwares, whatever the heck figure. But they all have ball jointed heads, they have ball jointed shoulders, they have a single joint for the elbow, the wrists can bend and flex, their waists do rotate, as you can see right there. And their legs also have some pretty decent flexibility. I don't quite know if you can do a full-on super kick, but you can get decent at least. You can do a little super kick. And the ankles rotate as well. So, you know, Minimates always have, like, I feel like pretty good articulation, especially when you consider what the size of them is. You know, you can't expect anything like as crazy as an Ultimate Edition figure, but overall I think you're getting a pretty good amount of articulation for this size here. So keep in mind right now, we've got now entrance gear for them, which includes swappable arms, but that's actually not all they come with. They both come with some additional accessories, and that's to make things, and that's to help keep things a little bit more hardcore. So just like we saw in Wave 1 of the AEW Minimates, once again, we're getting a steel chair, a little itty-bitty steel chair, which is adorable. It does not actually fold open, it's a little too small to do that, but it's really cute, and it will fit into their hands. So let's see if I can do that right now. So we got it in his hands, looking nice. And now this is a debuting accessory. We've got a kendo stick for the first time in this line. Look at this adorable kendo stick. It's got some good detail on it, good painting. I mean, when you keep in mind the size of the thing is about an inch, you know, all things considered, it is some very fine detail. So we'll put this in his hand over here. You can get a better look at some of that texture on this as well. That looks pretty nice. So yeah, our Bucks are ready for a hardcore brawl now. Now let's just take a quick look at some of the other figures in this AEW line also, in case you missed out on our first review. And well, you know, since we're having part of the Elite here, let's bring in Kenny Omega to make this a trios match. So here's our Kenny Omega from Wave 1. Now, Wave 2 will include Hangman Adam Page, so you'll be able to get closer to completing the Elite once you get that series as well. Now, Wave 1 also included a Chris Jericho and a Dr. Britt Baker. And if you want to see those, check out my review of that very first wave, as well to see more of the accessories that all of them came with. But I think for now, the only other guy I want to show off would be this one here, because I'm that rabble-rouser. I'm that troublemaker. Tell me when I'm lying, because here comes CM Punk. So he was one of the other figures in that very first wave. You can see how they all look right now. And, well, speaking frankly, this doesn't look too good for CM Punk at this very moment. But yeah, that's a look at our Young Bucks Minimates, along with a few of the other guys from Series 1. Now, overall, I know folks are probably curious about the price as well for these Minimates, and the Young Bucks here, I'd say, are a pretty solid price. The 2-pack for them and everything that you're getting with them is only $12.99. That is a bargain. That's a bargain among bargains when you consider you're getting entrance gear, you're getting them in wrestling gear, and you're getting accessories as well as all the modular pieces for them too. And by the way, that also means, talk about modularity, that you can swap everything you see here. All these figures that you're looking at right now, everybody can change parts. So if you want to have Kenny Omega with Young Buck's body and head, go for it. If you want to have Britt Baker and CM Punk's body, sure, why not do some swapping? Whatever you want to do, it's all possible with Minimates because it's just that easy. No boiling of parts. It's very, very simple to do. So yeah, if you're collecting these AEW Minimates, don't miss out on the Young Bucks. I'm pretty sure that they might eventually do some more Bucks or put them in another pack for sure. Like they have to. They're the Young Bucks. But, you know, for now, this is the only way to get these guys in their all-out gear. And it looks pretty nice, all things considered. So what's next? Well, there is a second wave of a 4-pack coming out very, very soon from Diamond Select. That's going to have, as I mentioned already, Hangman Adam Page, as well as Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy, and Jon Moxley. And looking beyond that, there is word that Minimates will be getting a wrestling ring at some point as well. So you're going to get an AEW ring to fit these figures. And then going even bigger than that from Diamond Select, there's also going to be statues, PVC vinyl dioramas of guys like CM Punk and Jon Moxley. And they just announced Bryan Danielson for 2024. So lots of really cool stuff from AEW coming to us via Diamond Select. So if you're sleeping on those collectibles and you're just kind of, for the most part, looking at the Jazzwares figures, here's something a little bit different that's a lot more fun. And yeah, it's a pretty unique collectible as well. So that's our look at the AEW Minimates 2-pack of the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and their all-out gear. Like I said, I'm really enjoying these figures. I think you are too. And I know there's a lot of folks who don't know anything about Minimates. Really, they're a lot of fun to have. They're going to spice up your wrestling figure collection. It's such a cute little fun collectible. It lightens things up. They're just awesome toys. Highly recommend them. And the price point is pretty darn good as well. So if you want to pick these up for yourself, I'm going to have some affiliate links in the description for this video below. And if you click on any of those links and buy something, it supports this channel at no extra cost to you. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today, and we're going to keep going all elite, whether it's with Jazzwares, Diamond Select, or anybody else doing AEW toys, because I'm a big fan of all this wrestling stuff. So make sure you stick around this channel to see all the pro wrestling content we do here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time, and be elite.